Last but by no means least, it was a huge pleasure to welcome Marcus here. And he's brought some of his books and the magazines which you can take for free. I haven't heard his presentation, but I've heard great things about him. So it's great to welcome you here, Marcus, and I look forward to hearing what you have to say.
Yes, thank you very much for this invitation. I'm actually very happy to be here because this part of Italy I have not visited yet, and just once gone through Pisa and entering into this area where the Renaissance started, which is the basis of our. And tomorrow I would like to see a little Florence. If there's this. So, actually I don't have a title really today of the presentation because I was asked to give a title and I just said, okay, I can speak about uniting physics and psychology, I can talk about information, energy medicine, and consciousness. So basically I just gave the scope of what I'm dealing with. This was put as a title, so I'm quite free today to speak. And this is what I like the most. So I like to speak about what is right now going on in my life and in my mind, and to just connect to the situation here. Yesterday I came with a flight from Berlin to Pisa. But before I started, I went to our office and I saw there's a letter for me. And this was a big letter sent to me by Professor Keller, a German professor who I got to know in China. And he sent me a book. And inside the book there was a small business card from a Chinese professor who I met in Taiwan when I was there in April. Actually, this is a book. It's called Chen Wai Xi. The English translation of this Chinese title is, it's just consciousness. So when I saw the book, what is consciousness here, of having Laszlo and other authors, I saw it's a nice synchronicity that this book came in the morning when I was going here, that this world is just consciousness, it's mere consciousness, nothing else than what we consider matter, or even what we consider spirit. It just appears as the most conscious within our consciousness. So this, of course, is very much related, I think, to the approach of new paradigms, not only in health, but in science, and hopefully once in politics, to have an understanding of the real nature of this world, and the real nature of the human being as a basis for major decisions in one's personal life and also in the life of this planet. So I strongly believe in synchronicities since a few years. I'm a physicist. But 3 years ago, I started to study deep psychology, especially from Carl Gustav Jung. And I know he wrote a book together with, he published a book together with Wolfgang Pauli, who's one of the fathers of quantum physics in 1952. And one part of the book is about synchronicity. Actually, synchronicity is something connecting the physical world and the psychic world, the inner and the outer world. Actually, the synchronicity is a little more than what I have told you now. 40 days ago, I took a flight to Moscow and then from Moscow to Shanghai because I was invited as a keynote speaker on a very interesting conference on traditional Chinese medicine in Shanghai. And I already know, I already knew if I do intercontinental flights, like from Moscow to Shanghai, it's always creating a special type of experience. So the same thing happened here again. When I landed in Shanghai, I was received by my host, and this is actually a picture from Taiwan. It's a very special place where the continental Qi is entering from the ocean into Taiwan. I like this place very much. So this is left side, this is my host in Shanghai. He's a multi-billionaire investor in the real estate business. On the right side is someone he introduced to me as his kind of master brother. He's a Zen Buddhist master who has kind of a monastery in Taiwan in the mountains. So we were going actually in the car to this place. And in the car he told me, Markus, are you aware that you have lived already in China 1350 years ago? I quickly made a calculation and figured out, okay, we are talking about the 7th century. And the 7th century is still kind of free on my timeline, so I didn't object. They said, you have been a monk, a Buddhist monk in the Tang Dynasty. I didn't know what the Tang Dynasty was. Now I know that China, the Na in China comes from Tang Dynasty. It's one of the founding dynasties behind the Chinese civilization. So basically this is what he told me, not much more detail, and that's it. I didn't think about it much. So now, when I was on my next intercontinental flight from Shanghai back to Moscow, it was a flight in the day, I wanted to watch a movie, but there were only American movies which I really didn't want to see, like blockbusters, like Independence Day. And then there were a lot of Chinese movies, pure Chinese titles. But going through it, one title called Chuan San, somehow my mind stuck to it. I didn't get any meaning from this Chuan San, but I clicked into it. There was an English description. And the English description was, it's about the journey of a Chinese monk from China to India. And there were English subtitles, Chinese film. So I decided to watch this movie. And it was an amazing experience. It was a story, a real story, historic story, true story of a monk from the Tang Dynasty who lived 1350 years ago and who traveled to India all around the Himalayas, crossing Desert Gobi. It took him 10 years to search for the original scriptures of Buddhism, which were not written in China, as he had them in his monastery, but in Sanskrit and other Indian languages, because he knew they don't have the original scriptures. So he took all this trouble. When I saw how he was almost dying in the Desert Gobi, I looked out of the window. We were just crossing the Desert Gobi with our plane. And I thought, my God, this is really an amazing synchronicity related to what this Mr. Chen Paul told me about my life in the 7th century. So okay, a nice synchronicity. So all of a sudden, so when yesterday I took the, not really intercontinental, but a small flight from Berlin to Pisa, I got this book called Chen Wai Xilong, related to the, I think, main topic of this conference. And guess who is the author of this book? It's written by a monk who lived 1350 years ago in the Tang Dynasty and who went all the way to India to collect the Buddhist scripture. His name is Chuan San. Here's a writing Xiang San, but it's actually the same person. So I'm used to synchronicities which connect two events in a meaningful way, but three in such an extreme, improbable connection. This gives me a hint that something is going on. Normally synchronicities show you that there is something going on in your unconscious. Or better say, in the unconscious. Because if you talk about the unconscious, it's not so clear anymore if it is just personal. It's always personal, related to your own consciousness, but it always has a strong transpersonal connection to it. So I means there's something I need to be more conscious about, something I need to more integrate into my present personality, my present ego here. As Markus sitting in front of you, just coming from Shanghai, going back to Berlin. There is something probably connected to this man, so I started to read the book. And I didn't read it all, it's a little difficult literature. But it's all about basically the conclusion, like spiritual and also philosophical conclusion, which I came now after 50 years living on this planet. And I just published a book 2 weeks ago called Follow the Inner Path. So these two books are quite similar. And I know I have to look deeper into this type of Buddhism. I have been a monk myself in India, 12 years. And since 4.5 years, I'm not going to India anymore, I'm going to China. So India-China connection is something I have to really deeply look into. So it's about synchronicity, and synchronicity is something which I think is very much connected to this topic of the conference, new paradigm in health. Because there is two ways, I would say there's two different ways of medicine or healing. One I would call causal, and the other I would call acausal. Causal means, if we think about how this medicine or methods of natural healing work, we think in a causal way. We say we do something which is a cause and will have an effect on the body, on the health situation. For example, we might apply a natural plant, a herb, for creating some healing process because we know how a certain herb or plant works on our organism or maybe even on our psyche. Or we apply a certain frequency, as Peter Burrs was because we know 150 megahertz, it has a certain effect on the DNA. That's a cause and effect relationship. So cause and effect is a way we think nature functions, reality functions. But I think it's not the way how reality functions, I think it's the way how we think about it. How our Verstand, our intellect tries to make sense about what's going on. On a very deep level, reality is not causal. Causality is not the most fundamental law of nature. Classical physics thought so. Albert Einstein was possessed by causality. I think it was his God image. Therefore, quantum physics, which was originated also by Einstein, he could never make friends with, because quantum physics actually kind of destroyed the illusion that everything is ruled by causality. And it introduced a new concept into physics, which is acausality. And the scientists didn't find a better term than chance for it. The German word, I don't know the English word chance, but the German word Zufall has a different meaning. It's something which comes to you, it's something which falls to you from somewhere above. So there is the term, it's pure chance, means it has no reason at all. It's not just that we don't know the reason, but it cannot have a reason. And Einstein is still alive, he still tries to prove that quantum physics is wrong. That there's some implicit order in David Bohm continuing his work, trying. No, there is a level of reality which we just don't know, and the real causes of everything happening is there because actually the universe is a cosmos. It's purely ordered. It's just a way to think about reality. We need the principle of causality with our intellect to make sense, to create an idea of the logos in this word, a meaning. And when I thought about this, I thought about a quote from Sigmund Freud. He said, if a man is asking for the meaning of life, it's a sign of, actually it's already a sign of a disease, it's a pathology. And I thought, my God, how can such a genius like Freud say something like this? Meaning is so important. But it means that he has a disturbed libido, this is what Freud says. So if we really in the flow of life, if we feel the oneness in ourselves and also the connection to everything, we don't ask for meaning. We don't. Meaning is what we need if we lost our connection. If we're not anymore in the flow, then we have to construct. We ask why? Why do I live? Someone who is one with life, he doesn't have to ask this question. He doesn't need a logos type of explanation. So causality is very important. I mean, I use it every day, like for booking flights or for arranging my schedule and even getting kids to school, you know. In my actually family situation, causality is more on the side of my wife, and I was a disturbing factor, but I'm trying. 16 years of marriage, so I'm successful in it. I adapted to the principle of causality, and I appreciate it. But my real inspiration and fascination is for the other side, acausal surprise. What happens seemingly without a reason, what comes out of the depths of reality. And I think this is a missing aspect, which we're missing in science, which we're missing in medicine, which we have in art. Because art, I was happy about this art and science combination, because art is a creative process. And then causality doesn't fit there so much, I think. You can ask the scientist, why did you put green here? And if he can give an intellectual explanation, you can be sure it's not a real explanation. It's a spontaneous process. It's a creative process. So the new paradigm in medicine or health is to make medicine an art again, to bring art back to medicine, to have medicine healing be a creative process. You need to bring art into medicine, into science, into politics, into ethics. Like Carl Gustav Jung, who's one of my favorites right now, he tried to deeply think about the problem of ethics and morality, which normally ethics and morality is defined by a culture which tells you what is good and what is bad. It's quite changing. So how, as an individual who recognizes this, who doesn't just want to be ruled in his life by collective forces, like a cultural canon, how can he live his life in terms of ethics and morality? His answer was, each ethical decision is a creative process in itself. And I think it's a very deep process. So the creative process within the science of medicine, I think this is what healing really is. When I was in Shanghai at the conference, I was supposed to speak about traditional Chinese medicine, which is not at all educated. But I was very happy about Professor Li. He was the president of the Taipei University, who was a speaker before me. He said, if in a TCM treatment, the patient suddenly feels a chill, this is really a successful treatment. He needs to get the feeling of chi, whatever this is. And I don't know TCM, but I know if the patient gets the feeling, the therapist will have it also. He will just know it. And this feeling means there is something very special happening. The situation of the patient, which we might call a disease, which is already a problem, we call it a disease. So the creative process is happening. And this creative process is simultaneously creating a new order inside and a new order outside. And this is the significance about the creative process I'm talking about. And I want to relate it to physics also. This type of creative process I call the second order quantum observer effect. It was a term which came to be in the last intercontinental flight, before the flight to Shanghai. It was a flight between Istanbul and Taipei. And there, it's always happening to me in flights. And there's a reason I want to talk about. Remind me that I explained to you what's the significance of flights for this kind of creative processes. Second order quantum observer effect, which is initiating simultaneously a new order internally, which might be the experience of feeling something is going on, something is changing, something is flowing through my body. I internally feel a new order. It can be a small enlightenment. It can be a realization, some new vision on the same situation. Like when I was in Shanghai, someone asked me if I want to see an exhibition of paintings. And normally I don't look at this kind of things, but I agreed. It was two Italian painters. One is called Giorgio di Chirico. Yeah, Chirico. I was amazed. I was almost fainted when I saw his paintings. There's so much spoke to me. The other, I forgot his name, but he only was painting bottles as well. Bottles. Yes, exactly. He had 30 bottles in his atelier and he just rearranged the different bottles. This is what they do. Flowers, landscapes, and bottles. I remember. But the bottles, it's just always a new perspective. So just a new perspective, a new order inside, and a new order outside. A new external order, a new physical order means there will be a change in the physiological situation of the person. Also, a healing process can just reorder his system. Because the disease means something is stuck. The body in itself, not the body, the system of a human being actually has the ability to just adjust, it's a flexible system, it can change, it can be healthy. No, it's stuck, so it needs a new order. So this new order can be created by such a creative process. I know that going a step back, in quantum physics, we all know about the significance of the observer effect. The quantum observer effect. What is it? The classical quantum observer effect, which we know from quantum physics. It means that consciousness, through observation, touches the underlying potential reality, which physicists call the wave function, which is not a physical reality in terms of substance, but we try to say like it's a reality of information. But it's not the same type of information we are processing in computers, but it's potential information. We all know this. So if consciousness shows interest in this, then an observation takes place. And one of the many possibilities which are contained in the potential becomes reality. So in this moment, the observer who initiated the process in his consciousness, he becomes aware of the situation. He makes an observation, means a new internal order is created in him. It's a knowledge. But simultaneously, there is a change in the outer reality. A new order is created. Actually, a real physical reality. So in a quantum observer effect, we have these two things going on. Internal knowledge and external change in the situation, which is very significant. And it's a creative process. And because we know this, we conclude that as a conscious observer in this world, we are kind of co-creators. I think this is very common in knowledge in the New Age and the esoteric scene. But what does it mean? Do we really co-create the world according to our desires, according to our consciousness? Then why does the world look as it is? Is your life as you imagine it? Not in all regards. So what does it mean? I think on this level, as we know the classical quantum observer effect, also the one which we are normally talking about, we are talking about that a fragmented, isolated consciousness is collapsing the wave function. A fragmented, isolated consciousness. This is a good description of what C.G. Jung calls the man without a shadow. Someone who believes that he is identical with what he knows about himself. We call it ego. Ego consciousness. Fragmented, isolated consciousness. On this level, we think ourselves to be just individuals disconnected from the others. We don't feel, we don't perceive how we are connected with other living entities. And not only with other living entities, but we feel isolated from others. This is, I think, a description of a person in a modern Western civilization. But this is where evolution actually brought us as a human being. then we need the therapies, and we need the reconnection, we need all these things. So this is the level of consciousness, fragmented, isolated consciousness, in which we still try to get some wholeness. We try to be a healthy psyche within a healthy body. But there is a deeper level of consciousness described in all. This is another picture which is related to flying. I will explain a little bit, so I come back to here. So there is a deeper level of consciousness. And in this slide, I just have prepared the 3 levels of consciousness. The first one, here I call it the level 3, I will change this. This I still noted down in Tai Chung. The first level of consciousness is the isolated, individual, fragmented type of consciousness in which we experience mainly the duality of mind and body, which was also mentioned here, as a perceiver and perceiver. And we are not sure, am I a body having a psyche, or am I a psyche having a body? But we do not experience this psychosomatic unity. It's one body. So we have a spirit, basically, in our personality. In the Indian terminology, it's a gross matter, or the stula sharira in Sanskrit. It's appearance of reality. In Tibetan Buddhism, this level is called nirmanakaya, or in the Tibetan Book of Death, this is a siddha. It's the external consciousness. In Gurdjieff's classification, it's the level plus 48. Level 1. If we initiate a crater-observer effect from this level, what realizes in the collapse of the wave function is not our conscious intention, but it's mainly everything which we are not conscious of. I had a very deep realization about it, where I saw that this physical reality, with the very floor I'm standing on, and the walls which appear so concrete, and I don't manage to go through it. It's just a manifestation of what I'm not able to feel right now. Of those inner aspects of my very self, which I can't engage in, which my ego cannot accept. It's so much connected to feeling. What I'm not willing and able to feel right now, it manifests externally as gross matter. And I can hit my head against it. It will still be there. And probably my head will lose against it. I have seen how this reality just manifests for what I don't want to feel. So this is what is happening if we are commenting the wave function on this level 3 of consciousness, on the external consciousness. We are manifesting everything inside which we are not aware about, which we didn't integrate, which we didn't engage in our life. This is like what Jung says. He says that whatever we don't engage inside, it appears outside as destiny. This sentence contains everything about karma. We don't have to project it in last life or in next life, but it's all there right now. And if we connect to it, we start to feel it and think, and experience and sense it, then this whole external reality completely changes its quality. So we are running through the world, constantly collapsing, quite unconsciously, the wave function. And in this way, we are manifesting the world in such a way as it is inside, not consciously. So to actually enter into a real creative process which makes a change outside and inside, which brings enlightenment internally, and also enlightenment in terms of healing to the world, to the nature, to the patient, or to our own body. We need to engage into a creative process, a quantum observer effect on a deeper level of consciousness. And this is the second level of consciousness, which is connected to the TimeWaver in the Tibetan Book of Death, Sambhogakaya, or the Sukshma Sharira, which is the subtle body related to the sixth chakra, the Abhyaya chakra. It is the consciousness which integrates into the unconscious. It is a modus of living where we experience ourselves as a united being of body and mind, and not anymore as a being. It's a level of where an artist acts. It's a level from where a healer is actually initiating a healing, and wherever Tatis knows, it's not a causality, it's not something which he has caused, but he will always say it's caused by a different agency. He's just there. It's actually a synchronicity. That's the significance of synchronicities. So when we come to this plus 12 level of consciousness, which is characterized by overcoming the duality with another self, by experiencing quantum entanglement, how our own existence is quantum entangled with everything else, how we are connected to everyone and nature. We still perceive ourselves to be individual beings, but we simultaneously perceive the connection. It's not the level of all oneness, of just experience of undifferentiated unity, which is also there, the Dharmakaya, the Chikaya, the Karahasharya, the deep spiritual level of the one mind of non-duality, from where also cosmic quantum observer effects are initiated. It's not this level. It's a level where you experience time as space. I once had such a vision of my own life, where I could see everything which happened in my life, especially if I talk about everything, it's mainly people. I saw all people who I have met in my life with their intentions, with their real intentions, with the quality of our exchange, and why we met. And everything was simultaneously. I saw on this level there is time, but time is like space. And when I realized this, I remembered one sequence from my most favorite opera. I'm an opera, lover of opera. Italian opera I love very much, but also German opera, like Richard Wagner, forgive me. And my favorite opera is Parzival. And in Parzival enters first time, when he was 16, into the great castle, guided by women's. It said that the time is transformed into space. Now, I think I was 16 when I heard this first time. I couldn't figure out what it was. I just could see it later in the vision, how my life, everything which was there, in the linear order of time, now rearranged in its meaningful space, showing me what was actually in all the different situations, the real intentions, the possibilities, and how they are all present now also. So this is the level from which we can initiate such a second order quantum observer effect. I call it second order because it's related here to the second level of consciousness. But this type of quantum observer effect we cannot control. On the first level, I do an observation. Okay. At least we have the illusion about our will. Like Schopenhauer said, human being can will what he wants. No, I don't get it I say it in German, maybe somebody can translate it. He said it in German. Der Mensch kann tun, was will. Okay. As a human being, we can do what we want, but we cannot will what we want. No, okay, I say it in German. Der Mensch kann tun, was will, aber kann nicht wollen, was will.
And the man can do what he wants to do, but he cannot want.
So this is the deeper, on this deeper level of consciousness, the ego, the will of the ego, cannot control the situation. It cannot voluntarily, intentionally initiate this kind of observer effect. But this still, the will, which is the main function of the ego, on this level is still present, but in absolute harmony with the self. It's a unique middle state of consciousness, which is not will and not completely without a will, but it's an absolute unity of the universal intention and your individual intention. It's like Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita at the end, he says, "No, I'm your instrument, Krishna." It's like feeling one with God, feeling no difference in intention or will. So I think this is the level where we cannot intentionally, but kind of intentionally, yes. It's difficult to describe in a two-valued, logically based language. So the art to initiate this kind of deep kind of observer effects, which if you're practicing the profession of a doctor or of a naturopath or of a healer, is very essential, because only then you can make a real difference to your patients. Out of causality, you can then actually do miracles. It is something which is not under your control, but it can be cultivated. And this, I think, is the essence of all the ancient spiritual cultures, and also of the healing traditions of the ancient cultures, that it cultivates for the healer and for the patients a certain type of life, which makes it much more probable that such a deep kind of observer effect, such a creative healing process happens. And this is what actually we can do. We can live our life in such a way that we are always in contact with this same level of consciousness. We need this level of consciousness also to survive in the external society, to just live our life on this external level. We always have to reconnect to it. But if we live our life in a spiritual way, and I will very soon say what I mean with it, we will be present on both of these levels simultaneously, so that we can act creatively from the side. And now I can come back to the other funny picture. And this is my friends in Prague, who I got to know last year. Last year, in summer, I was invited at a conference in Poland about consciousness and new paradigms in health, something similar to this conference. And it was a big public conference, and before me, this gentleman gave a lecture, direct lecture before me. This is Professor Jan Mark. He is one of the leading nuclear physicists. He's the leader of the Finnish group in CERN, this is this elementary particle accelerator, and working on quantum mechanical descriptions of the nucleus, which is a very difficult topic. This is a chemistry professor from Romania. This sympathetic man in the front, he's a medical doctor, he's a brain surgeon. And he's a genius, his name is Burkhard. And this is Bree, my special friend. He was an Iraq soldier, 2 years, a veteran from Iraq, but he's also a master in martial arts and yoga, and a very spiritual person. This is the people with whom I was doing my first parachuting experience last year. If you would have ever told me I would jump voluntarily from an airplane from 4,000 meters, no, never, no interest. Actually, until recently, I didn't have any interest in my body so much. I lived 12 years as a monk. I thought, I'm a spiritual being. What's the use of this body? It will just die after a few more years, you know? It's a kind of a monster. So he invited me to Prague, and I had my first experience flying with them. This was our equipment, with small airplanes in a very special way. And just flying in airplanes, it's a lot of movement and acceleration, and you change your gravitational influence on your body. It always makes a big difference in consciousness. And if you do it in the right way, you're directly entering into the deep second level of consciousness. And then if you jump out of the airplane, you're just gone. My first experience parachuting was just the free fall, 1 minute 60 seconds of free fall. It's like, you know, Star Trek, this wall. It was entering an experience which I cannot even describe. I don't have any terms for it in my conscious experience. And this is glue. If we do parachuting, it's not just because we like the adrenaline kick, but we know when we safely arrived on the ground, and we always do this, we are internally changed. It's a real quantum jump, a parachute jump. In this kind of consciousness, with this type of people who are connected to the second level, it's always creating a big difference. So we are now even intending to start a university. We want to call it a Renaissance University, based on these principles. We have invited leading scientists to Prague who were working on scientific problems, like one leading scientist, one of the world leading quantum physicists from Israel. He jumped with us. Next day, we could find a solution for a scientific problem. He was thinking for 5 years about it and couldn't find a solution. And we have lots of experience that just this kind of quantum parachuting is initiating this kind of a creative process. It's just one way how to cultivate. It's maybe not the most practical. Not everyone like our group in Prague has a small airplanes, and Robert has at least 5,000 jumps already. He's a master in the air. He's like a bird. And we also. Professor Mark just had maybe 70 jumps. He's already quite free in the free fall. I'm just an absolute beginner, I would say, but I still enjoy it. This is so much connected to a principle that thinking and moving is one. Movement and thinking is one. I saw you doing Tai Chi in front of the chapel today. This was my message to 500 Chinese doctors on 1st of July in Shanghai. And this was my message to them, that you have to reconnect to the origin of TCM, which is the unity, it's a unity consciousness of body and mind, of thinking and moving. And from this deep level, TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, is practiced. Because now they try to just connect it to modern medicine, it will never work out. It will not have a good result. They are really struggling. They're struggling and feel disconnected from their own culture. That's the next. The body-mind work is so important. The next, you say, it's so important to connect to the breathing, with the silence, it's there in all the yoga traditions, it's in TCM. It's such an important part of healing. I started holotropic breathing in the tradition of stand rock. It's just amazing. It just takes 5 minutes. You are in this space. If you train it, you don't even have to do any special deeper breathing. It has nothing to do with hyperventilation. It's not a medical thing. And the first way to cultivate this deeper consciousness is the body-mind consciousness work. The second is through the breathing and connecting to the silence. And the third is just integration of the unconscious within yourself. There are so many ways to do it. You can do psychoanalysis if you have a good psychoanalyst. But better do psychosynthesis. Sounds better than analysis. But for me right now, I just have to travel to China or Taiwan, and I'm into this space. I'm high for 10 days, because if you experience another culture, if you really get into it, you're just experiencing the other side of yourself. You're just opening. For me, it is like this in China. Before it was India. No, I just don't feel to go to India. It became too much predominant. I know too much about Vedic philosophy and Sanskrit and yoga. I was among them. It's always what you didn't integrate. So traveling to other countries, just opening, there are different ways. So we were talking about the increasing DMT concentration in the brain. There are shamanic ceremonies using sacred plants to create this kind of deeper space and help you to explore it. But there's research done, 95% of all the cultures on this planet had a ritualistic way to deal with this kind of holographic consciousness. We lost this. 95% of all the cultures had. They had sacred plants, they had dance, they had rituals with dancing, with music. And it's not an individual, just isolated experience, it's always a collective experience. And this is the next thing, the collective consciousness, what we are doing here. It's the fourth aspect how we can. Therefore, partially with people who have this kind of consciousness, believe me or not, if these people, I exclude now myself, I'm a beginner, if these people are jumping 4 or 5 jumps simultaneously, they do formations. They can communicate very clearly with the language, giving instructions from the teacher to the student. Now what was the partial? Just regularly. Go to the left side, balance with the right hand. And only when you come down you realize, oh my God, this was actually not possible, because you cannot talk there, it's not possible. In the free fall, there's just 250 kilometers an hour wind, and you are 20 meters from each other. There's no way to hear them, but you hear them escalating as you hear them now. The brains become quantum entangled on this deeper state of consciousness, and this is what happens. So the collective consciousness is another very important aspect. And then, of course, what all the religions tell us is serving in love. Bhakti yoga in the Vedic tradition is the tradition I'm coming from. Just understand I'm a servant and live in this consciousness. So this few fears can help us to cultivate this second level of consciousness, and where we can just live a creative life. And this is my experience. A few years ago I asked myself, where is my creativity? I have invented some devices 10 years ago, and now I'm still doing it because I have to. Some companies, a few thousand people use it, so this is my creativity. Where is it? The first answer was it's your children. And this is not just a once a creative act, but it's an ongoing creative act of transformation. Not transforming the children, but yourself. Trying to transform your children, they transform themselves by that. You can transform this relationship. So where is the creativity? I saw my life is a bit miserable if I'm not creative. I need to feel this creativity. It works from this second level of consciousness, which is related to the sixth sub-chakra, to the epiphysis, to the third eye. And I have talked to many practitioners and doctors of information medicine who really create miracles with their patients. When they work with information field devices like radiology devices or our devices, at one point they start to have sensations in this area. They feel an activation of the sixth chakra, of the third eye, which means there is a unification. It's the male and the female part of the life energy uniting, body and mind coming together. So it's a natural thing. I did not talk about technical details today. I didn't present the 12-dimensional unified quantum field theory of Burkhard Heim today. I didn't talk about TimeWaver, which is the name of the devices which I have developed. If you are interested, you can read about this. But if you want to know how it works, and it works, it's because the quantum processes which are in the devices connected to the people, the people who work with it, who connect to this deeper level of consciousness, they are initiating this kind of second order
that can observe an effect. They are when this kind of creative process is happening. So, yeah, I think this is what I wanted to tell you.